In a wide-ranging and unfiltered interview with Maria Bartiromo, former President Donald Trump shared his views on topics ranging from health care and immigration to China, government surveillance, and recent indictments.
Aren't you going to have to compromise on something around
health
care subsidies to end this thing?
They want to give 1.5. They have a deal. We have a deal. We just want an extension. And the reason we want an extension is because you can't make a deal with these people. They're lunatics. They've gone crazy. They're crazed people. Trump derangement syndrome. There really is that disease. At first, I found it to be amusing. Now I find there really is. They want $1.5 trillion for health care for illegal aliens that come into our country. If we do that, it will jeopardize the health care of the citizens of our country. So we're not going to do that.
The conversation offered insight into his political messaging and the narratives he's likely to carry into the 2024 campaign season. But what exactly did he say, and what does it mean? Let's begin with health care. Trump claims Democrats want to spend $1.5 trillion on health care for undocumented immigrants. He frames this as a direct threat to the care available for U.S. citizens, saying, if we do that, it will jeopardize the health care of the citizens of our country. While this claim is bold, the figure he cites isn't tied to any specific active legislation. In fact, it's likely an exaggerated projection based on broader Democratic immigration and health care proposals. Still, Trump positions this idea as proof that he's unwilling to compromise, accusing Democrats of suffering from what he calls Trump derangement syndrome and labeling them, in his words, lunatics. He insists that despite having a deal, he wants an extension, claiming you simply can't negotiate with people who are, in his view, completely irrational. On foreign policy, Trump moves to the topic of China, reiterating a point he's made since his first campaign, that China has taken trillions of dollars out of the U.S. economy over the years. He emphasizes that under his administration, tariffs brought in hundreds of billions from China, and that these policies were left mostly intact by President Biden, though Trump criticizes Biden for making what he calls so many exceptions that the tariffs didn't matter. Trump states clearly, "I'm not looking to destroy China," but argues that their economic success, especially military buildup, has come at America's expense. He mentions a planned meeting with China's current leader, hinting that both sides are open to making a deal. He compliments the Chinese leadership's intelligence, contrasting it implicitly with U.S. leadership, and positions himself as someone who can negotiate from a position of strength. The conversation then takes a turn towards surveillance and alleged government overreach. Trump references recent reports that Congress obtained around 30 million lines of phone data after the January 6th Capitol riot, and he claims that surveillance extended to at least 8 sitting lawmakers. He alleges that this surveillance started under the Obama administration, saying, "It went right up to the top." According to Trump, former President Obama, then Vice President Joe Biden, and others were aware of surveillance efforts targeting him during the 2016 election cycle. He repeats a long-standing accusation that Obama spied on his campaign, and that the use of government agencies to monitor political opponents is not only illegal, but corrupt. This leads into the subject of Special Counsel Jack Smith, who Trump calls deranged and a lunatic, claiming Smith was brought in because of his aggressive reputation as a prosecutor. Trump suggests that Smith tends to go too far and implies the charges against him are politically motivated. He also reflects on the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago. Trump says agents were likely searching for a report that could be damaging to their political interests, possibly referring to documents related to the Russia collusion investigation. He insists he did nothing wrong and that, under the Presidential Records Act, he had the right to retain the materials found at his estate. He points out that only a sitting president, not a vice president, holds that legal authority, taking an indirect jab at President Biden, who has also faced scrutiny over classified documents. Trump then turns to John Bolton, his former national security advisor, whom he says has just been indicted. While saying he doesn't know the details, Trump calls him a bad guy and a stupid kind of guy. Still, he admits that Bolton's presence helped during international negotiations. In a moment that mixes criticism with backhanded praise, Trump recalls how world leaders like Putin or Kim Jong-un would give up everything when they saw Bolton in the room, because, as Trump puts it, they thought it meant war. He never talked much, Trump adds, but having him stand there with the big mustache, these people I was fighting, they looked at him and said, "Let's give up to Trump because this guy's crazy." Despite this, Trump reaffirms that Bolton is, in his view, a bad actor and says, "Let the courts decide." As the interview wraps, Maria Bartiromo brings up a recent podcast where former President Obama warned that democracy is being threatened. Trump fires back, saying Obama says that all the time, but insists Obama is the one who actually endangered democracy by, as Trump claims, illegally spying on his campaign. He calls Obama's actions dishonest and expresses confidence that a lot of dishonest people will eventually be caught and held accountable. The interview makes one thing clear. Trump remains committed to narratives that cast him as the target of political persecution. As a strong leader on foreign affairs, and as the only person who can correct what he sees as deep institutional corruption. Whether you agree with him or not, these are the talking points that continue to define his public messaging and the 2024 campaign landscape. What do you think? Are these claims grounded, exaggerated, or something in between? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns and analysis. Thanks for watching.